We're very happy today to have Brian McDonald, who's a DTM. He's the VP of Education for the Tataraki Valley Toastmasters. Tataraki Valley Toastmasters of Ontario, Canada. He's been with Toastmasters since 2004. As a lead technical support for FreeToastHost since it opened in 2004, Brian has been supporting Toastmasters clubs around the world. Brian has been working with computers since 1972 and currently works as an internet consultant. Today, Brian will show you how to make the FTH Toastmasters Club website work for your group by demystifying the technobabble and pointing out some of the strengths of the FreeToastHost websites.
Thank you. I don't know about the rest of you. You guys look comfy. I'm getting comfy. Now, jackets are all very nice and everything. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you enjoy Lance's speech?
Yes, very much.
Bo and I were both at 2005. I remember his speech. Do you validate? The man is a small genius. All right, let's talk about FreeToastHost and District 31. We can help you with new members. It's a bit of a challenge for some clubs not so much. 95 members, I think, would be a little unruly. Communication. We're in the business of communication, but we're not real good at it. The agenda, membership, and dues are functions of the officers, and we want to help them do their jobs as easily and quickly as possible. Let's talk about new members. How do you get new members? Anybody?
Yes.
Invite them to a meeting.
Invite someone to a meeting.
Embrace them, take them in.
Guess.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Some people go to our website.
Websites. Guess what? District 31 has a few websites. You have 187 clubs last count, 113 with published websites on the Find a Club at Toastmasters.org, where most people start. There are 74 clubs that don't have a website. Now, some of those are going to be closed clubs, company clubs. They don't want a website, or they have a website internally. But a lot of clubs don't even have a website. FreeToastHost can help them with that. The big one at the bottom, somebody made a boo-boo. When you go to Club Central and you type in your website address, make sure it works. There are 14 in District 31 that do not work. And that's like sending somebody to a store and giving them the wrong address or wrong mall. I don't think you're going to keep them as a customer. Finding new members. Our website for my home club does all our work for us. The PR go out and they do the Twitters and they do the Facebooking and they put our posters up. But 99% of the people who walk in the door are walking in because of our website. Think about the people you want to attract to your club these days. They're young, they're dynamic, they want to promote promotion. What do they do all day, most of them? Work on computers. Where are they going to get their news every day? Off a computer. How many newspapers in the world are dying today? Most of them. Why? Because everything's on the computer. Get your club on the computer. We have not failed to get our DCP points for at least the last 5 years. I went back further, but 5 years was enough for one chart. Now, what's the key? The key is the facts. It's not pretty pictures. It's not about Doris getting her CC last week. It's about the facts of your club that makes your club different. Where are you? When are you? What do you specialize in? Who are you? What's your membership made up of? Is it all doctors? Is it all lawyers? Is it entrepreneurs? Is it college students? Are you part of the military? Tell people, make your club unique, special. It makes a big difference. Because if I go out and looking for something that's going to make interest to me. I want to listen to people make speeches. I'm going to pick people who have something in common with me. So tell people about your club, what makes it special. That is a key thing that you do in FreeToastHost. Let's see if this works the way it's supposed to. There we go. Right here. Site administration, club website setup, the first panel. You're going to give it a name. You have a name. Please, when you make a new club or you change your club name, don't make it something like Downtown Talk of the City or one of those, because believe it or not, we have 45 downtown Toastmasters clubs and FreeToastHosts already. Make it unique. Make it something special. Make it descriptive. It's your last chance before you charter your club. The description. Embellish. Make it something that the search engines can bite into. Search engines search on words. Search engines cannot search pictures. If you put up a picture, make sure you put in alt text. And that gets technology, so use a lot of words on your website. Toastmasters are surrounded by words. Use them to describe your website. Keywords, special things. Where are you? Are you in Framingham? Are you in Walpole? Are you in Timbuktu? Are you in Mexico, New York? The search engines will find that. Now, in there, what's so special about your club? Things that Toastmasters do, everybody has those. Table topics. Every Toastmasters club has that. But what's something special about your club? It's there. Think about it. What makes people come to your club and stay? That goes in your keywords. Simple words that people would use when they're looking for a Toastmasters club. Think about it. When you ask your spouse, daughter, son, father, doesn't matter who, I want a Toastmasters club, help me find it, and then ask them what words they would use if they were looking. Those are the words you want to use in your keywords. Your custom heading, short and to the point. Club name, club number. You don't need anything else. Main content, this is where all the words you used in your description and your keywords you use again. You tell people, we meet on Tuesday nights at 6:30 in such and such a building at such and such an address. Those are the first things on your page. You know why? Because you have less than 5 seconds to grab somebody's attention when they go to a website. If they're not interested in Tuesday nights, they're going to go to another club. So put there what's important. Right up top, you can put a picture there so it looks nice, but make sure the text is there. Put text and pictures side by side. You can swap sides back and forth, doesn't matter. But that's technology. First thing is get the words there. Let's go back.
About the keyword.
Yep.
Are you able to do key phrases? Or whether somebody types in, for instance, speech improvement.
Yeah, 2 words, that's fine. If you get more than 2 in the description, you can get verbose up to 256 characters. In the keywords, it's words, maybe 2 words. But don't, because the search engines will look at it as 2 words, they won't look at it as a sentence. In the description, you can use a sentence.
So when somebody's searching for your club,
It's in the description.
the description is not in the keywords.
Yeah. Keywords are things that your club does. Let's talk about communication. FreeToastHost will help your club communicate to 2 really special groups. One, the public. Toastmasters is still the best kept.
Secret.
Yes. It will also help you communicate with your club members. Because believe it or not, Toastmasters do a really lousy job of communicating, except when they're speaking. We're all great at writing speeches and getting our point across because we have manuals and people to tell us how to do it. But when it comes to writing a simple email and getting it to all the right people, we don't do such a great job. Let's have a look at what we can do for you at FreeToastHost. Well, to the public, we have the website. We have a page with directions that hooks up to Google Map so you can get them from their front door to your front door. A contact form. Now, the reason why we went with a contact form was they are more resistant to spam. You put an email address anywhere on your website, and within 6 months, you will be getting more spam than you know what to do with. Be gentle with email addresses. Putting them on business cards is fine. Putting them on your website, not so good. The members. Again, we have a section on FreeToastHost for members. Stuff that you need a user ID and password to get to see. Web pages, files, all sorts of information. We have one of the best tools that I've ever seen for the agendas. The bane of every VP of education, building his meeting every week by himself. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. We have all the members in the club that can help the VP of education using the FreeToastHost agenda. Email. We give you the ability to create 3 lists. And the reason why we kept it to 3 lists and not 18 is because there are members, there are guests, and there are former members. A Toastmasters Club is supposed to be an open organization. There shouldn't be any secrets. So if I'm sending an email out, why not tell everybody in the club about it? Yes, the officers have their own email list so they can schedule their officer meetings and make sure that the right educationals are given at the right time of year and that sort of thing. But when you're communicating inside the club, you're talking about around 20 individuals. Actually, I think the average for Toastmasters right now is really closer to 18 or 17 or 18. If you look across all the clubs, a lot of clubs that don't get DCP every year because they don't have their 20 members. What we need to do in Toastmasters is communicate. If you start excluding people, you're not inclusive, you're becoming exclusive, and that doesn't engender any sort of communication at all. So the idea is we kept it to those lists, the members, the officers, guests, and former members. The last 2 we added after FreeToastHost was built because we said we still want to talk to our former members, maybe once a year during celebration of our charter event, 5-year anniversary, 10-year anniversary. We're going to be doing our 25th anniversary. So we want to talk to everybody who's been around before. The guests, in the guest list and in the former members list, we gave them the ability to opt out. So they come into the club, they stick around for a meeting, maybe 2, and they decide, no, sorry, I'm not interested. So we put them on the guest list, and once a month, maybe once a quarter, we send them out an email, and they said, no, not interested at all, take me off the list. Click, it's gone. We don't communicate with them anymore. The email address is taken off the website. Toastmasters don't want to be spammers. Let's talk about the agenda. The world's biggest pain below the 49th parallel. Every VP of Ed fights the same battle every meeting. How do I get people to sign up? Where do they go to find out if they've been signed up, depending on the club culture, because every club is different. Toastmasters may be an organization of 12,000 clubs, but I guarantee you it is 12,000 separate clubs. Every VP of Ed who takes the position does it differently. We've made the agenda as flexible as possible, and we've gone through and redone it twice since it's been originally programmed. Right now, it's as flexible as I've ever seen a piece of code. Any member can sign up by logging on and clicking the link, I've got the job. The VP of Ed, the Toastmaster of the day, the president of or chair of the day can go in and modify any existing agenda. The admin and the VP of Ed can create agendas. You can set the agendas up so that if there is a person who always does the same job, you can define that person in the default agenda. So the president is always going to be at every meeting 99% of the time. You can put his name in beside president, chair. You can put the sergeant at arms if he's going to be there and set up the meeting and take down the meeting every week. You put his name in there, and you've already got a bunch of filled spaces in your agenda. Nobody has to do anything. Their jobs are done. Now, as far as educationals and speeches, you can set up the agenda with the slots there, and all the person has to do is go on, click the thing, select the speech from all the list of speeches, and yes, Toastmasters does continuously update the manuals, so we have to go and make additional copies and put the changes in there. When we find out about them, nobody tells us anything. We're mushrooms. The speeches can then write their own introduction. After all that is done, it's saved. Somebody saves something. Okay, the reason why we save it is not for the VP of Ed to file the document that says the person has got their award. The only valid piece of information to do that is their manual that has been signed and has all of the signatures in it. So, but what we do is the VP of Ed can pull out a report that says this person has done 9 out of 10 speeches on their CC. This is when they did it. And I can validate that back to their manual, and if anything's missing, I can make them agree. There's actually now more than one piece of paper, piece of information that says what a person has done. But we've also captured all the other roles they've done. So if they've been Toastmaster, we can tell you when and when they did it. If they've been another role in your club, it can be tracked as well. So if you're trying to get a CL manual completed, you can go back, and if you didn't dot all the I's and cross the T's in your manual, you can actually pull a report and say, I did all these on these days, and sit down with your VP of Education and negotiate the final answer.
Brian, would you mind showing us how to access that history?
Didn't really set that up for today, but I tell you what, I got a special on this afternoon. Actually, while the business meeting is going on, I'm going to be sneaky. I'm going to be in the room just outside in the foyer. There's a room, Exeter room or something. I'm going to be in there, and I will answer anybody's question who walks in the room and show them how to do it on their website.
What if we happen to be at that business meeting and we have questions?
I will be there. If you want to be there for the whole business meeting, that's up to you. But I really don't want to do it while the speakers are on or while Lance is on. And of course, most of the people who are at the business meeting really don't have to be there because they brought proxies and they can give those away.
I have another question with the agendas.
Yes.
We keep the historical record. Is there a way to go in, let's say you start using the online agenda and somebody's on their 9th speech, so you want to get the previous 8 ones in there?
If you want to get your history in there, the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be because you basically have to go back and recreate the agendas for all the previous things. Now, what some people did is they just created one big, huge agenda and gave the guy 8 speaking roles that one night and put them all in. But, that's entirely up to you as VP of Education. If you've got an army of volunteers to help you do that sort of thing, more power to you. But remember, the only valid piece of information that you can use to send anything to Toastmasters International is the signed copy of the page of the manual. You do it online, but somebody can always audit you and ask for that signed piece of paper. FreeToastHost is not the end result. Well, we've built an aid. We don't tell you how to do it. We're just giving you a hand. Some global settings. Now, we're getting back to the flexibility part again. The idea of the global settings is every club is different. Some clubs want the picture on every printed agenda. I'm sorry, I know what all my club members look like. There are not that many of them. Role descriptions. Some people are very verbose. I think they must have been written by DTMs. Don't time me. That means it doesn't all fit on one page. Now, everybody should know what the roles are in the club. If they don't, maybe short descriptions will fit on one page. If you want to go to a multi-page agenda, the flexibility is there to let you do that. If you're in the military and like to live by the 24-hour clock, you have that flexibility. You have an agenda header. There was a lot of debate about this. Do you want freedom above or below the actual agenda? And believe it or not, most people said above. Because that way you can put anything you want in that little top piece on the agenda. It is a fully editable field. You can put pictures, you can put text, you can highlight, you can bold, you can make big, you can make it small, you can make it color, any color of the rainbow, up to 32 million something. But it's yours. And for every agenda that's made, it will take it out of the default agenda header and move it into the new date and time agenda, and then it stays that way. And you can go in and modify it for that single meeting if you want to. You have that flexibility. How am I doing on time?
You're 15 to go.
Good. Email settings. Believe it or not, some people don't like email. Originally, when we set up FreeToastHost, we set it up so that only the person who sent out the email would get the responses. And some clubs didn't like that. They wanted everybody to get spammed to death. So we said, fine, we will let you have control over that. So in the global headings for the agenda, you can decide who gets the emails. It can be the VP of Ed, the VP of Ed and the Toastmaster, or the whole club.
What emails?
Well, the agenda generates emails. There's a little email box at the top of the...
Oh, you mean if someone sends one?
Yes. And also how the responses are handled.
I didn't know that someone could respond.
Oh, yeah. It's an email. You can respond to it. It's tracked.
Oh, I see. So
All that garbage that we put in the subject line is not for your benefit, it's for ours. That's how we track what's going on, so when a response comes back, we know what to do with it. Because all the emails are processed through a single point. So we kind of shoot them out afterwards. The default agenda. I will tell you a trick. Do not build 18 agendas. Build one with every possible role that you would do on a weekly basis. So if there's a possibility that some weeks you have 4 speeches in a meeting, create an agenda with 4 speeches in it, so it'll always be that way. Do you know how fast it is to delete an item, a role, off the agenda? It's 1 click. Do you know how many clicks it takes to add a role? About 20. So, if you create your agendas complete, yes, when you build the original agenda with complete, it will say that it will take probably 3.5 hours to run the meeting. But as you get to the meeting, That week, the VP of Ed can say, okay, it's now the day after my last meeting. I'm going in, getting ready for the next meeting. Let's see, we're not going to have a business meeting next week because we don't have anybody to elect and no officers ready to give any reports. So we take off the business meeting. This week, we're only going to have enough time for 2 speeches and a very long educational. So off come 2 speeches, 2 evaluators. You just made 6 clicks and all of a sudden your meeting is now 2 hours long rather than 3 hours. So much easier. Really. Now, speech contests, tall tales nights, the backwards meeting, yes, you will have to create special agendas for those, and you can save them under another name so that you can have 18 default agendas if you want them. I find most clubs deal with about 5 max. But the flexibility is there to do as you require. Special settings. Do you want this role to appear on the agenda? Do you know why we put that there? Some clubs are actually putting roles in said, I'm not coming. And you can sign up to that role. The reason is they're at a club where the VP of Ed does all the assigning. So the club environment is such that all the members have agreed that if they're not going to be at a meeting, they will sign up to one of the I'm not coming. So the VP of Ed will not schedule them if they're not going to be there. There's a reason for everything that's there. Some clubs get very creative and put different things there because they have special little jobs in their clubs. The snack bringer, are just part of their club environment. And they're there so that it doesn't show on the printed agenda, it doesn't show on the email agenda, but it's on the agenda on the website. And because it's a role, you can actually go back and find out how many times each person was snack monitor for the day. Won't get any credit for it, but maybe you can figure out all his receipts that he brought in. Reorder the roles by drag and drop. We tried a bunch of different ways to order them by time, by numbers. And we finally figured out the easiest way to do it is let the computer do it and let the people who are in charge do it and just have them click and drag and drop. So you can reorder your schedule however you want. If your speakers sign up in an order that you don't want them, drag and drop them. Now, yes, you will end up with speaker number 2 before speaker number 1, but if you're really, really convinced that the numbers have got to be in the right order, yes, you will have to take the person off, put the person on, and that just seems like a lot of work to me because I'm not real fussy about who's on first. And we talked about permanently assigning roles. Membership. Guess what? Toastmasters Club exists to have members. The best way to communicate with your members these days is email. We allow you to add your members, put in their phone numbers and their email addresses. We then allow you to have when you go and assign the officer roles, you end up with another email list. You don't have to add the person again. You just have to say, I'm an officer, and I'm now part of that email list. If you have roles that are not standard Toastmasters officer roles, we have a role called Other Officer, and they will get the emails just like the rest of the officers. We could not think of creating every possibility that people have dreamed up over the years. The other thing we do is let you, the club, manage your members through the reports. If they go former and come back, a lot of people do that. I want to be a 6-month member. I only want to go to Toastmasters from the months of October 1st and April 30th. And then I'm away, I'm a university student, I don't want to be a Toastmaster member anymore. And then they come back the next year. You can just take them from former member to current member. All their stuff is still there. They haven't lost anything. You haven't lost any of their data. So the former member thing really works nicely. Also, when a former member contacts you and says, I'm joining a new Toastmasters club in Timbuktu, but I lost all my manuals, I really don't know where I was. Guess what? You can be very nice and print off a report for that member and send it off to them. The 4 email lists are spam protected. You have to be a member of the list to send to it. The officer role aliases are not spam protected. So if you put one of those officer roles like president at my club, it will get spammed if you put it on your website. That is a guarantee. We allow you to send the welcome email. You can customize that welcome email however you want. And we track all the rules. We added this one. This is not an accounting feature. This is a tracking feature. This does not replace your treasurer, does not replace your VP of membership. What it does is allow the treasurer to send out reminders to pay your dues. And if you have a PayPal account, they can pay it through PayPal. The setup is there. It will include itself in the email. Once they've paid, all you do is click a little button, how they paid, so that when you're finished your dues collection at the end of the period, you can go through and say, okay, all these people paid, here's all the receipts, hand them out, and the treasurer's job of collecting money is done. Now he just has to pay it all back out. These are important addresses. If you want a FreeToastHost website, go to reports, find a club at toastmasters.org, and make sure your club information is correct. I get to send Toastmasters International report telling them that these individuals no longer exist in this planet, and that I'd like to know how they contact that club. Now, once you've got all that done, you can ask for a FreeToastHost website, because we're going to send the authorization request that you submit to the email address that is on the toastmasters.org Find a Club. We don't know who you are. We don't know if you represent the club or not, but your club officers do, and the contact at Find a Club at toastmasters.org is the only way we have of contacting somebody who represents the club. That's why we do it that way. If your club is not chartered, and believe it or not, we will give FreeToastHost websites to clubs that are not chartered. We're not meanies, but what we do insist is that you have filed your request to organize, or they call it authorization to organize, something like that, and paid the $125 charter fee. The reason for that is then we are pretty certain that club is going to at least charter. May not be this year or next year, but sometime down the road, somebody's going to say, I got my $125, we're going to charter come hell or high water. There is a little piece of text above the usual sign-up form. I've identified it. Click on that, you get a separate little box that pops up for a non-chartered club. If you change your administrator, and everybody changes their administrator at least once a year, because you get a new VP of PR, unless you've got some tech wizard who's going to do it all the time. There is a link change. It's identified on the main page of the website. It says, "Are you the new administrator?" Big letters. Complete the form, and it's self-authorizing. We don't get involved because the authorization goes to two people, the previous administrator and the email address at
Toastmasters.org.
Find a Club. Yes. So you could have it all done and we don't get involved at all. There you go. If you remember nothing else from today, please remember that website address, support.toastmastersclubs.org. There you will find a bunch of very smiley and happy people led by me, 2 from the US, 1 from New Zealand, and we're always looking for new ones, that will help you with your FreeToastHost website. They're volunteers, they don't get paid, but they enjoy doing it. And so far, we haven't found a question we can't answer. Sometimes it may take us a little while, but we always find an answer. Thank you very much for coming today. I hope you found something useful.